everybody. But we're also on tape. We are deep down in the bowels of Lisa Musica. Episode 114 of Kamloops This. Christopher Folds, Magic Mike, and Bill at the controls. 114.
14. Chris Odlefson, one of my favorite Canucks of all time in the late 70s.
I wonder if we said the exact same thing for episode 14.
We might have.
Because I'm going to say Jeff Courtnell, and I feel like we've talked about this
I think
already.
we've talked about Jeff Courtnell, but I don't think Chris Odlefson gets enough love. He was one of the great, him and Don Lever back in the day, right? You know, Kurt Ridley.
Was he captain?
Yeah, he was captain at one point, I think, yeah.
You would know that, Mike.
Yes, he was captain.
How are you, Mike?
I am great. It's fantastic. You know what? I met somebody through the show here, and his name is Vinny from Cold Control Mechanical.
Vinny and Dustin.
And I know they're not sponsors now, but yesterday it was so cold in here because our furnace went down. I phoned them. They came in, and they fixed it up. So, you know, our sponsors, Volkswagen, McDonald's, and Gord's Maytag, those guys are an elite class with these other guys.
Because they were a former sponsor,
they're all
right?
stand-up.
They are. Vinny and Dustin, they're tried, tested, and true. They're here so quick. And our sponsors, actually, I was going to talk about this anyway. So we're on our own now. This show is no longer backed by Kamloops This Week, so we're trying to make it on our own financially. And we wouldn't be here this month doing the show without our sponsors, without Gord Stevens, Steve Rogers of Gord's Appliance and Mattress Center, without Terry low rates from Volkswagen of Kamloops, and Brandy Seacon from McDonald's. So thank you so much for letting us continue on and try and grow this baby, because that's what we want to do. We want to make this thing bigger and better, and we can't do it without you. Fraser Minten's on the show today. What a great way to start off. We've already interviewed him. Mike, what did you think about Fraser?
I think he's a really stand-up guy, and I think he's already way up there because he's a musician already for me. So
Yep. He's a Kamloops Blazers forward. He made the Toronto Maple Leafs opening day roster,
which is amazing.
Exceeded all expectations, and he came in to join us today. He's a great interview. We'll talk to him. And also, Reader's Digest. Kamloops Mayor Reid Jackson joins us, a rollicking edition, as usual. We've already talked to him, too. It was interesting, as usual. One more thing on the sponsorship. We were going to be selling, what we're going to do is we're going to put up a board here, and it's going to be the length of the table, and it's going to angle back, and we're going to get a company name on there. So just keep that in mind.
Good visual. How it's going to work, it's going to be great. Always up there. And I think I was trying to get Cold Mechanical to do it again, so you'll have to reach out to Vinny.
Yeah, Cold Control Mechanical. Yeah. Okay, what do you think about the mayor's first year?
Well, it's very interesting, very dynamic, very controversial, very newsworthy. Unlike any first year of city council that I've experienced since coming here in 2005, going through the mayors of Terry Lake and Peter Millibar and Ken Christian and Reid Jackson and the entire council. This is a very new dynamic for obvious reasons.
Successful?
It's too early to say. Well, the first year, I think they got a lot done. I think if you look back, they have gotten stuff done, and they've had massive challenges with the inflation, especially with the cost of living, with the social disorder on the street, the fact that the city is having to do a lot of stuff that's really not their responsibility, but they're getting into, like, they're not supposed to be working on housing. That's not their mandate. But I think the city, the staff, and the council have done a pretty good job considering the challenges, the distractions, the lawsuit, the investigations, the bickering, the stuff behind the scenes that we hear about that we can't report on, that gets a little crazy. That stuff is not good for the image of the city, and people say, all the way down to, do people want to invest here? Do people want to come here? But I think if you look through all that, it's not like nothing's getting done. There's a lot that's getting done at the city, and we've had, staff on the show to talk about the new endeavors they're doing, and I think it's too bad that stuff is like the side circus that takes a lot of the attention. It's important too, because dysfunction between people is not good for any corporation. But I think, considering that, it's impressive what they have got done while dealing with the spotlight and all the shenanigans behind the scenes.
Point in time count? The numbers are out. What did you think about it?
It doesn't surprise me. We've covered the point-in-time count since it started years ago, and
What is it again?
it's 312, I think. They counted in April. They counted over one evening or during the day on the street, and then in some shelters, and they came to 312 people who identified as being homeless of some kind, whether that's homeless on the street or living in their car or couch surfing. They don't have a home. And they did this 2 years ago, and there was a 201, I think it was.
It was 206.
Yeah, and then the 2 years previous to that, it was always about 200, within 180 to 200. But everyone knew there's more than that. And I said to you before the show, as we were preparing the show, the 312 count is people that the volunteers and the staff found during this very finite time in April. But me, you, and Mike joined the mayor, and we went out one night because he wanted us to go out. And we ended up visiting one of the places was the shelter at the former Stewartwood Elementary, run by Out of the Cold, an organization that I actually volunteered for years ago. It's a great organization. And they at that shelter, they had counted 804 individual unique visitors from October to October, like in the last 12 months. So there's 800 people using that place who are not repeat users. They could be passing through town, or they could be living here on the streets or homeless on the streets. So that 312, even though the organizers say it's underreported, the question I have is how underreported is it? Do we have 1,000 homeless people in this town?
Yeah.
Do we have 500?
And the mayor will share his thoughts on that. He wants changes. He wants to be done more often, a more robust system. But I mean, it's obviously still good that it's being done.
Sure.
I mean,
I think any count is worthwhile because it gives you even a snapshot or a partial data that can lead to services needed. If you don't do any counts, you don't know what services is needed.
Yeah.
And it needs to be prolonged. They need to do multiple samples throughout the year.
Sure.
Things probably inflate over the summer months.
During certain periods of time.
And different needs are in different
Well, the
times
interesting
of
thing
year
in the
too.
report, I think it said, if I recall, 6% of those they spoke with, so 6% of 300, which is what, 18, 20 people, they're here because they were evacuated because of floods or fires in the last year, I think last 2 years.
Yeah.
And they just haven't gone home. They couldn't go home. So how many people are these climate refugee homeless people, right? I mean,
Right.
that's an interesting data right there. I mean, had they not been evacuated, would they have been at home, or were they already homeless or marginalized in their hometowns? I'd like to see, I didn't drill down to that, but that would be interesting to see.
We also touched today on costs of living costs going up.
Yeah.
I just looked it up. Our business taxes for this building that we're in right now doubled since 2020.
Sure.
Yeah.
Since 2020.
2020 in 2 years. Doubled.
The city, the municipal taxes?
My property taxes.
Yeah, now apparently next year we're going to have another big tax hike probably.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's so I don't understand if all the taxes are going up like mine did, literally doubled, and it's expensive. Why are we having to also increase all the other taxes and fees and
well, you
and
think
kind
that
of
with
stuff?
especially with the growth of the city, I mean, we're exploding with growth. There's homes being built everywhere. There's apartment buildings being built. There's homes. That's tax base is rising along with the increase in the property taxes and the business taxes. So,
Yep.
like I said, is there other places we can cut to try to offset all this kind of stuff?
We'll ask the mayor about that. We'll ask him about the point in time count, about leakers, his hunt for leakers, and many other things. He'll talk for a while. He has no regrets, he says, about his past year, so we can hear that. You'll hear from him in a few minutes. But, BC Lions, before we talk about our weekend, BC Lions have a big game this weekend.
Big game this weekend. We're taping this on the 1st of November, Wednesday, and they're playing the Calgary Stampeders at home on the 4th of 3 days, Western semifinal game in Vancouver.
You've already turned on the team. You've said they're going to win this game. They're going to lose in Winnipeg.
They might even lose this game because they had a gaping hole in their run defense. So if Calgary and Dickinson come back to Dave Dickinson come to Vancouver and have the same game plan they did 2 weeks ago when they embarrassed the Lions, and the Lions coaching staff, Ryan Phillips, defensive coordinator, and everyone else, don't adjust, it's going to be an ugly game for the Lions.
they need more players like my friend J.R. LaRue who would play with a broken arm.
He would play with a broken neck. He's tough. He's a tough man. That's right. Jerry Lou, 2011 BC Lions Grey Cup champion, and probably has a record for most broken bones during his career.
Broke his leg twice.
I know.
Twice, and came back from that. Who does that?
Bobby Bond did it in one game, and he scored the winning goal. Not like these soft athletes today, let me tell you.
Must be Italian.
Yes.
Speaking of Italians, our weekend last weekend, right?
It was crazy because it involved canning Mike Potestio's cherry tomatoes and tomatoes.
Yeah, they were harvesting them. Yes.
But of course, when you're canning like that, it's not always clean.
No.
You know, things happen, and messy guy over there.
And I wore a white T-shirt like an idiot.
Super messy. We got tomato guck all over him.
Mm-hmm.
And
We had to go to Gord's Appliance and Mattress Center for the big appliance fall
Which isn't
sale
very far from Potestio's Italian home on the
North Shore, where
That's
real
right.
Italians are
Real
from.
Italians live.
And the Electrolux laundry towers were over there. So we cleaned them right up. But then we had to go back to Michael's. And Michael comes in.
Wait, how did it go? Hey,
Michael.
Come on,
Who's
come on,
this?
eat.
And then there's his dad rolling around having a cigarette.
Yep.
And there's about 70 cans of these tomatoes.
Yeah.
So we needed
Lots.
a big vehicle. So we had to go to Volkswagen at Kamloops and get the 7-seater Atlas. And we also got a 5-seater Atlas Cross
To
Sport.
race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a nice one. It's more sleek. Yeah, so it's a little more.
Yeah, what do you like about the Atlas?
Well, I like it because it's not too big where you can't parallel park properly. I'm not a great parallel parker, but I like it because it's a little more nimble and agile.
Personally, I like the new fuel-efficient engine and the new exterior look and an amazing new upscale interior.
I like the rates too.
The business person in me likes the low, not LOWE rates, but the LOW rates.
You still don't get it.
No,
He still can't understand.
no, I don't know why, how they can have rates so low when the Bank of Canada's interest rates are going up. My mind doesn't compute that.
Terry Lowe is a magician. He's a rate king.
What we should do is we should buy a whole bunch of cars and relace them out at bank rates.
Yeah, we can make some money.
Make some money, yeah.
There you are.
And so we get these tomatoes, and we're just having the best time ever. I'm throwing them in Foldy's mouth, and he's eating them like that.
Yeah.
But
It's very romantic.
It was weird. It was weird, yeah.
was
Your
a little
bromance gets deeper and deeper.
But he was thirsty after that.
Yeah,
But it was also cold out, so he wanted something warm. So we went to McDonald's, where the Festive McCafe is going on. You guys don't know this. You guys aren't paying attention.
Not really. I'm always a latte guy from McDonald's, but
You guys got to wake up.
You're always a
sometimes.
latte to know. That's right.
yeah.
And this McDonald's is, again, just a few blocks from Italian Michael's home. So on the North Shore, West River.
Where the peppermint hot chocolate and mocha is available now, Mike.
See, that I don't believe that peppermint belongs in ice cream, but peppermint mocha sounds pretty good.
Next up, Reader's Digest, brought to you by McDonald's.
Morning, I'm Helton Lee.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm good, always.
Always good. I got a question for you.
Okay.
What's your favorite season? Is it spring, fall, summer, winter? What is it?
Fall.
Why?
I love the temperature of the fall.
Oh,
Not
you-
too cold, not too hot.
You love the temperature. You love the leaves falling. It's not too cold. It's crisp. It's crisp.
Oh,
Yes. I'd like to make an announcement, please.
What's that?
My favorite season is this season right here because it's the McCafe festive season, isn't it? Where I can get that peppermint hot chocolate and mocha right here at McDonald's while shopping local.
oh, that's good.
Yes.
Olive branch.
1 year it took him, eh?
That's
hey, Mike?
that's a
1 year.
living, breathing olive branch
There you go. Yeah.
right there.
Not a bad photo.
Pretty good photo.
Nice summertime. We're all miss summer already.
Little more like me.
Yeah, sure.
We're still here. You're still here. Exactly 1 year to the day you were sworn in.
November 1st, 2023, 1 year ago today, you were sworn in as mayor. How's the last year been?
It's been crazy.
That's been crazy.
It's been crazy, man. I never thought that, I never thought that I'd have to hire a lawyer full time just to try to get solutions in the city to make it a safer community and accountability, that kind of stuff, But yeah, it was crazy. I mean, we got inaugurated. I think it was right around the middle of the 7th of November. Our CAO got a letter from Ask Wellness and Bob Hughes saying that I defamed. Didn't go to me originally. It went to other people, and then the first council meeting we had to delegation of Ask Wellness come in front of us. And
I remember that well. That was an
Yeah.
odd meeting. For
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
you know, and we sent a letter back saying, well, if I've defamed you, I mean, coming from somebody that, you know, I've supported from 12 years ago when the
You gave him a van.
animal shelter, part of a van, yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, it seemed kind of odd. And then I look into it and, you know, this is all, I believe, a lot of politics because, you know, then I look on Bob Hughes's, you know, Dieter Duty's one of the, I forget the,
Oh, donors or not donors, but recipients of donations.
no, to when you get, when you run,
Oh,
you've got to
nominations.
Yeah,
signatures.
he's nominated
Yeah, you need
Dieter Duty. So it was kind of shocking that, you know, right out of the chute that happened, and it's been used as a legal opinion in the city since that day.
But other than that legal quagmire that we're still in there, what was it like the first day going into the office and knowing that I'm the mayor of the city? It must have been a pretty interesting feeling and different. I mean, I just imagine it would be like a rush and like, holy cow, I could make some changes and stuff like this. So
Yeah, I think the biggest rush was the night that we won the
yeah,
election was
the Mount Paul golf course.
Mount Paul, yeah, that was good. And yeah, it was really good. I mean, you know, you're going up against you know, 3 incumbents and a guy that had been previously on council, and it was quite a big upset, and quite a big upset for other people too. And I think that some people still don't respect the democratic
outcome. Yeah.
outcome, you know, and it's unfortunate, but you know, keep working ahead. I mean, I think it was great when I picked up the phone, you know. Over the last couple of years, I was listening to the media about, you know, everybody blaming Interior Health, including councillors and city administration, blaming Interior Health for not having complex care beds. And, you know, I picked up the phone and called Susan Brown, and, you know, within months, we had complex care beds coming. We got a lot of people struggling with mental health and addiction problems that need help. And
Yeah, dinner with her at Frickin' Frack.
that's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Who did? You did?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah, like within the first few weeks, right?
So what have you learned in the last year? What would the Reid of today advise the Reid of 2022 if you knew now what you knew then, just politically, life-wise?
You know, I don't think a lot. You know, I'm sticking to the same goals. You know, and those goals are to get a safer community. You know, every motion that I've put forward that's been turned down has been a step to getting a safer community for everyone. It doesn't matter whether it's getting 15 outreach workers on the streets, or if it's looking at relocating and reviewing the 48 West, or if, you know, or the reaching home, the ride home program, or, you know, every motion that I've put forward has been a motion to make this a better community. And it's unfortunate, but, and I gotta say, you know, that half the people on our council, we had about 30 people on our campaign team, and a lot of people were asking. As a matter of fact, I was at some people's place last night, and they're a little upset because we sent out a list to everybody that we knew, businesses, small business organizations with up to 1,300 people in it, and sent out a list of councillors that we felt were on side. And some called me just prior to the election and supported my thoughts and things. And it's just unfortunate how they changed so fast. But again, I can see the politics. I think because I'm not a real political person, I think I didn't understand how deep it is.
There's a game.
Well, it's it is. Like I said, when you know, you get someone that nominated Dieter Duty is coming, you know, and he's sending a letter to a CAO, not me. It'd be like me sending him a letter that I'm gonna defamation suit against you, and not only that, in the letter, you know, talk about, you know, having friends and drinking buddies and that on committees. He actually says in the letter that he'd like to be on one of our committees.
No. Okay.
You know, so that part, and that was right out of the chute. And I just think it's totally unnecessary, and it's kind of continued to move forward the same way.
Do you have any regrets? Anything you do differently?
No, I don't think no. And you know what? All these investigations and all this stuff, it's just, to me, it's just a bunch of drama. And but we're getting things done. You know, I've been doing things. The council's been doing things. We're now getting committees going to build Kamloops, and you know, I'm really glad that this year I took the bull by the horns and got the firefighters back out, the aerial firefighters back out to the airport where they were 5 minutes into their planes instead of 45 minutes.
Yep.
You know, those are kind of moves that I made that you know, created some controversy. No different than the complex care. I mean, originally I was told I would have to file a FOI because when Susan Brown told me that they'd brought a half a dozen proposals to the city and the city had turned them down, well, I asked for the dialogue, and originally I was told I would have to file an FOI. I didn't actually have to do that, and you know, other things like getting money back for I question things. I look at numbers and I question things.
And there are some things that you and council are lockstep on, like the Build Kamloops. You all agree. All 9 of you said this is a great idea. You want to go big, you know. And so it's not every single thing is.
No, but it's you know, it's kind of out of the chute. You know, all of a sudden, you know, one of my supporters is threatening CEO Trow, and I don't even know the guy, or you know, that I'm using taxpayers' dollars
for the
to secure my burnt car. When I actually made the phone call initially to get BC Housing to pay for security, and then when I get in office, I question a bill for $1 million that the taxpayers are paying out of a grant for security, and I question it, and we get money back from it, and just those types of things. They're just if we're going to be working together for the betterment of the community, why is that a struggle? It's no different than what's the problem with releasing an investigation that's onto me? What's the problem? Why is it okay to release it to you but not the mayor? And this council can make that decision. They can make that decision tomorrow, and I don't know why. And I'm concerned about it because, you know, in December I was getting texts from my one device of councillors, and I found out I got a text from Councillor Hall, Councillor Karpuck, and then I just looked and I got one from Councillor Newstater in December. You know, because somebody was emailing saying, "Hey, I'd like to chat with you," but it wasn't me. Like, so I don't know if somebody
was on your texting from a different from your phone.
Not mine. No, they were asking me because on my city phone, I guess people were reaching out as me. Okay, saying I'd like to chat, and so then I'd get them on text on my iPhone 5 saying, "Did you want to chat still?" Or you know they.
Oh, and it wasn't even you that
No, it
reached out
wasn't
to them in
me.
the first place.
So again, I don't know.
Oh, that's kind of weird. Yeah.
And one said, looks like somebody's fishing, and we were warned about that stuff.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
the fishing.
you know,
Yeah.
So again, I don't know if is that in the investigation. I have no idea because maybe you could tell me after.
What about street issues? How do you feel about the progress there? What do you think's been hindering progress of trying to get our streets to be in better condition and helping people who want to get help get help?
Well, like I said, every motion that I put forward, and every time I talk about it, and I have been talking to all different levels of government, talking to David Evie, Mike Farnworth, Adrian Dix, Sheila Malcolmson. I even talked to Selena Robinson down at the UBCM, and I really think that we need to get a review or a forensic audit on all of these hotels, motels, shelters, supportive housing for the residents and clients, for the staff, and the surrounding communities. And I don't know why that is such a challenge, especially when originally when they came in, they said they were going to have wraparound services. And I just think it would help everybody. It's even going to help the social agencies because I believe they're going to learn that they need more services in those facilities.
What did you learn from the point in time count? What are your thoughts in general on the most recent point in time count?
Well, my thoughts on the point in time counter, it's crazy that how much emphasis we put in on an 8-hour one day and 2 hours in a shelter over 2 years. As a matter of fact, I brought up at council yesterday that I don't know why we don't do it every year, and why don't we implement it in our own city? Like I said, and it's fine to do one every 2 years in Smithers, Terrace, or Fort St. John, or Revelstoke, or Golden, or all those cities, but we're doing it every 2 years in a community with 100,000 people, and why we're doing it for only 8 hours, and how much data we get from that when I'm on the streets, and I know that people come and go, and like I said, would we do that if it was our pets? Why why are we still kicking people out on the streets at 7 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah,
you know, like I just don't know why we put so much emphasis in it. You know, it's how much data can you get from 8 hours to?
Whether or not you believe the numbers, there's increases across the board. 175 homeless are not from here, that are here. So what are your thoughts on that?
What's that?
Like there's about 175 homeless individuals in that count of the 312 that are in Kamloops. 175 of them are not actually from here. You know, they're from other places. So what do you think about that?
What I think about it, what do you think I put forward the Ride Home program, you know, to get that done? There's a lot of people that aren't from here, and I think that we have to realize that, and a lot of them, they want to go home. You know, they want to go home. And the other thing to point down, Ken, we just had a lady with one of the organizations, one of the nonprofits that, you know, she had more data on people that you couldn't see, like families that are living in cars and that sort of thing. So, so again, why we're doing it in 8 hours, we could do it with all of our agencies working together, all of our outreach workers, okay? We need to get outreach workers on the streets after 4:30, and I know we have sometimes, but after 4:30 and before 8:30 in the morning, after 4:30 in the afternoon and before 8:30 in the morning. And I really think we need to do that and work collaboratively together and get that information from this organization and this one and this one and this one, and then you're going to get a true
Are you still confident that in your next 3 years you can get this done and get on the same page as some of the councillors and make some of this stuff happen?
Yeah, I do. I just think I need 4 councillors.
You need 4 councillors?
You need
which ones?
5 is a magic number.
4.
Yeah,
four. Hopefully 4 that we had on that list that our team, not me, but our team and the community elected because we did have them on the list.
So you like to chop the horseshoe in half and
no. Hey, 8 would be awesome. 8 would be awesome.
Well, we had notwithstanding the fact the point in time count is it's a snapshot in time, like you say, 8 hours, a few hours the next day. It's going up. We know homelessness is going up. We went from 201 to 312 in that count. But out of the cold shelter, which we visited last year, they said they had 804 unique visitors. Now that could be people passing through town, that could be people living on the streets in Kamloops. So obviously the issue is really way larger than we think it is. The question I have is this just something that, because of the cost of living, because of the world, is this something we're just going to have to manage, or we can never get rid of homelessness, right?
No, and we don't have we have a homeless problem, but we have a mental health and addiction or substance use problem.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys witnessed it. You all 3 of you in this room witnessed us stopping outside of Peter Millibar's office and talking to a guy who you would call homeless, but he actually lived in a supportive housing where he pays $375 a month. He gets 2 free meals a day. But is there not somebody there saying, "Hey, where's Pete?
Yeah.
Where Pete? Oh, Pete's down the road. He's got all this. It's 4 in the morning. He's got all this gear out there, and he looks like he's homeless. So you know, how many hours were we out there?
A few hours.
Okay, and there was 4 of us. Now I think they had maybe 75 people doing the point in time count for 8 hours. Now, is that a good picture? What's going on?
I think it's a partial picture.
And not of that, you guys.
They know it's underreporting though too, right? They acknowledge it's underreporting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, why wouldn't we get the information from those agencies, just like the lady that was in the council yesterday? But again, that's a very short time frame, you know. Like, and again, it wasn't at 4 o'clock in the morning, you guys.
Mike?
Well, it seems there must be other metrics that they measure, and to have 75 people go out at one night, it would seem, if I ran my business like that, one day, if I ran my business like that, it'd be like looking at last year's year ends, making decisions moving forward. I use them as a historical data, but I need to have my business strategy in place with KPIs so I can measure what's going forward. And it seems like, wouldn't it not be better to actually have more? I think I'm in total agreement with you to assess what the problem is and how are you going to track if you're actually moving the needle, making it any better, right? So
yeah, we can do it. We can do it with the social agencies that we do have, with the outreach workers that we do have, with the CSOs that we do have. We could do it on, you know, step it up in particular months.
Yeah.
Right? Like step it up. And again, I will be putting a motion forward, or I might have to maybe get somebody else to put a motion forward, because if somebody else puts it forward,
might get passed.
it's going to be a better chance it gets passed.
And there's going to be people that see this and say there's more to the point in time count, right? Like we have people that come in and say that it's more robust than we're making it out to be right now.
My only point is that
No, and it's good. It's a federal thing. It's a federal thing. But
it's
but
a
again,
good step. But it's
yeah,
But
but-
really, there's so many more homeless people out there that maybe if it was done more robustly, or you would have then an idea of how many services are really needed. That's all. I don't think it's a bad thing.
No, I'm not saying it's bad at all. But what I'm saying is, once over 2 years in a 100,000 population that's dealing with heavy street problems, whether it be in Victoria, Nanaimo, Kelowna. Okay, if you're going to do it every 2 years, do it in Golden, do it in Revelstoke, do it in Fort St. John, Smithers, do it in all the communities around where they don't have the majority of these harm reduction facilities, okay, in these larger communities. Like, why every 2 years? Are you kidding me?
I don't know.
Okay,
Like I said, if it was our pets,
yeah,
and you're going to kick them out at, oh, it's only -6. Oh, kick them out onto the street.
I don't have any pets. I don't need any
I
pets.
got the
You
cutest
got-
dog
I'm
in
gonna
the
tell
world.
you, I'm going to tell you, some of the people that are listening to this show are going to be watching this. They do have pets.
I know-
And I'm going to tell you
I know.
something right now.
I'm
They
just-
will not leave their pets
No.
stuck
If
out.
I
in the
had
middle
a
of the
pet, I
cold.
wouldn't leave it
I leave
outside.
my cats out unless it gets a -10 because they're pretty strong.
Barbaric.
Well, no, they catch mice.
Absolutely
My
barbaric.
dog stays inside.
We got little booties
Would
for
you leave
our
your daughter
dog.
out there?
Folds his
No,
cats
never.
are outside just
Never.
freezing to death by the hot tub.
No, I get it.
They're going to the
No,
neighbor's
and
house.
it's cold out there. In fact, I always question this policy in Kamloops where there's certain shelters, emergency shelters, open when it has to be at least -10 or 5 centimeters of snow on the ground. I was out there walking my dog and it was -2, but the wind felt like I wouldn't have lasted out there.
Yeah, and your cats are
Yeah.
out there just.
So I don't
Freezing
understand.
to death.
You know, I get there has to.
you go.
I get there has to be thresholds, but who picked
But in
-10?
Vancouver, 0 degrees. It's okay at 0 there.
I don't know.
whether
Cost
people-
of living. We need to switch gears. 'cause
Yeah,
this is
yesterday,
getting-
council approved a 25% increase in water rates next year, I believe, if I'm correct. That's about $95 on average. There's also, I'm not sure what happened, there was also proposals from staff, because costs are rising, to raise the sewer and the garbage collection rates.
It's 25% increase for water, 7% for solid waste utility, 2.5% for sewer utility, and rumors now of a property tax hike of even higher than the 7% that we had this year.
Yeah, so cost of living is going up. People are stretched to the max. What's your thoughts on that? And is there nothing the city can do while they're looking at this is to cut costs at the city that you have seen? Is there anything at city any fat that can be cut, or are you guys pretty efficient organization right now?
Mike's laughing. Mike, what are you laughing about?
It just seemed like a really loaded question.
It's very loaded. Do I see areas of cutting
Yeah.
costs? I see huge cutting. I don't know if you know,
Such
but
as, for example?
actually, I just put a motion forward to cut out $22,000 budget for
Food?
free lunches at
Yeah,
city
yeah.
council.
That's one
just
thing,
one.
but what
That's
about-
one. Times it by.
What about staffing?
Well, I don't want to talk about that.
Why not?
Well, because
I understand that Byron McCorkle was promoted to assistant CAO, which is fine, but I think reading in that, and again, the newspaper's closed, so I might be wrong. Reading into that,
you know, I have to
weren't
do
they also
the will of
hiring?
council. Do you not know that?
Weren't they also hiring another director to fill a spot because it's expanding? I'm just wondering. Someone says to me, "Well, how many directors do they need?" I'm not saying we're overstaffed. I'm asking you, as mayor, where do you think we can make cuts so we can alleviate the increases elsewhere, which is out of your control? That's inflation.
Well, there's a lot of areas. I wasn't privy to the adjustments in the. I am the CEO and Mr. Trowin is the CAO,
yeah.
but I didn't have any conversation. He had no conversation with me up until the day of.
Oh, about the changes, yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't have a lot of say about that. I did talk about salaries early on. I did talk about if CEO Trauma, which is very public, thought he needed any help with a deputy mayor position. At that time, he didn't feel that. That was a year ago. I also talked about reducing a position that was being opened up, but again, I at this point I have not been able to make any decisions about that. And like I said, with the 25% increase, I will go with the will of council, but I did not vote for that. I felt that
It was 5-4, a close vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it was. Yeah, and it's unfortunate. I did, ask a question about what's the total water utilities that we collect, and it's I think 17.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a calculation that 25%. They use part of it was because of the Noble Creek thing, which again, as everybody knows, I go with the will of council, but I personally did not vote for it. That was 3.2 million,
Yep.
but a 25% increase is I think $4 million, and that's $4 million like that. So I believe what we need to really take. I think the taxpayers of Kamloops, it's so easy to say, oh, it's only this, oh, it's only that, but I think that we really got to take a look at being fiscally responsible, and that'll be stuff that I'll be really working on hard in the next year.
I think that needs to be said is that it's and I get it. The utilities are self-funded, so there's no profit there. They have to fund it. I know that the cost of the pipes go up, the cost of labor goes up, everything goes up. We all get that. But when you look at the average person, there's 26 people in the newspaper who are no longer working. In a few weeks they'll be out of so how can and I get that the city's in a bind, but when people say, well, it's only $95 a month, that's $10 a month, there's only 12 here, that all adds up.
You bet it does.
And then their wages, even the people working, aren't getting massive increases in their wages. So I feel it as a homeowner. People I know feel it as a homeowner who are
So do
employed, and you do. And I'm not saying it can't go up, but there has to be a way to mitigate it, and that's why I'm asking, is there any way we have these increases, how can we soften the blow? I don't know what that is.
Well, I'll be working on that. I'll be working on that because, again, the Noble Creek thing, I mean, it's bizarre to me, and again, I'll go with the will of council, but it's bizarre to me that last year, council voted to keep this system running till at least 2028. Here we are months later, and we're asking for a 25% increase. Now, not only are we asking for a 25 like yourself, but they're going to, because they've got potable water, so they're going to be getting that same increase, right? So again, it's it's just so weird the way that we vote to decommission, and I felt, and I believed that, I thought I read in the 2022, and I could be wrong, that there was money put aside to riprap the north of the Noble Creek situation. So, and I don't know if it was in reserve or what it was, but yeah, I again, I don't know. Maybe, it was a close vote. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to maybe I'll have to call Section 131 again.
You could.
Was it just your
but I
birthday?
didn't very was what?
Was your birthday?
Yeah, it was my birthday.
When?
Weston Bayshore, I
A little bit
think.
ago.
When?
What'd you guys do?
We had fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
I had my family was all there and everything. They
How old are you?
old,
How old do you think the mayor is? I have no idea.
I'm going to say 66.
65.
There you go. See?
65, but I feel
So you-
like I'm 40.
So now you can draw some CPP.
Yeah, I
if
got
you
a
want.
letter. Actually, I
You
got a
can
letter
do
in
that,
the
yes.
in
If
the
you wait
mail.
every year, though, you get way more.
No, apparently
But you're
I could
betting
have got
on
it at
your debt.
60.
Yeah, but you get way less at 60. Now you could take it now, but if you wait another year, I think you get another like $500 a month.
Oh, really?
But they're betting on you dying before that. That's why they give you more when
Did
you
you have a nice
on me
dinner?
dying long
Yeah.
before now?
Did you have a nice dinner?
Yeah, we did.
If your favorite meal, what would be your favorite meal if you could pick one? Is it a steak? Is it lobster?
Well, the kids and my wife, they all, I go where I'm told.
Oh, okay, but you
Like
don't have a
everything.
favorite meal though?
Yeah, well, I had the prime rib.
Prime rib?
That was good.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
I like meatloaf.
Yeah, meatloaf is
I like
good.
craft dinner. Probably with all these increases, I'm going to have to start eating craft dinner. But the good thing with craft dinner is now they got different flavors. So
I know.
one for every day of the month.
And
You
I
could
still
put some of your
ketchup
prime
on
rib
all
in the
of
craft
them.
dinner too.
Did you know that craft dinner is a Canadian invention in Stevensville in Ontario?
And it's the only country in the world where it's called craft dinner. Everywhere else is macaroni
KD.
and cheese.
Oh.
In the States, they got this. The Kraft makes it, but it's called macaroni and cheese.
Have you ever made, so in the pandemic, this is a side story, I bought a case of craft dinner because I thought, if we got to
Yeah.
eat nothing else.
Yeah.
And we used up all the cheese powder for other things. It was really great. But I had all this macaroni, so we made pasta with the craft dinner. And it's sweet. It makes tomato pasta amazing.
Really?
Are you one of these people who
yeah.
bastardizes the craft dinner by putting like hot dogs in it though?
Oh, I think
Yes.
that's great.
Yeah, you got it.
I grew up on that.
And there's a special way of
you're
doing
You've,
bastard.
that.
you've obviously never had to live on craft dinner.
Oh,
then, have you?
I can't even afford the hot dogs. I just have the craft dinner.
Well, you should try. I'll send you some hot dogs.
Hot dogs is good. You into little
Yeah.
bites.
I'm living in
or
squalor.
crab, or crab,
I'm living
or
in
even
squalor in my little
tuna.
apartment.
Or
and tuna.
peas.
Tuna.
Peas and craft
your
dinner are
protein.
really good
These two
too.
guys in their big houses, your big mansion,
Tuna.
and you $100,000 a year. And look at me, and I'm living in squalor, eating craft
Look at
dinner.
me. Do you see an empty car lot I'm paying taxes on? What do you mean, look at me? I've got people, I had to go there the other day and say, hey, guys, come on, you're making me look bad. They have to move them off my lot. I'm looking for, where's our outreach teams? Where's our CSOs?
Speaking of empty lots or buildings, I want to ask this because it just came to me. Can you apprise us and the viewers what the
recording,
heck is
Mike?
going on with Northbridge Hotel? It
Well,
was supposed to be demolished by now, isn't it?
again, it's something that is very clear. I didn't agree with it long before I even dreamt of being the mayor. I didn't agree with the purchase. It's crazy to me what's going on. Here, we leave it up to, we pay 7.1 million for it. And again, this is long before I was the mayor. This is information I found. I don't know if it was enclosed or not, but I learned it from Councillor Sarai that the guy that sold the hotel, that he wanted $40,000 a month to operate it. Well, it already had, social agencies already had their residents and clients living in it. So then, I guess, Ask Wellness, we're going to do it for $20,000.
Yep.
Well, he did it for $20,000. Now, my question is, it's wrecked in 1 year. Somebody had to do an inspection on it prior to writing a check for $7.1 million. Who insured it, right? Was it Ask that must have had insurance of some sort? The city council must have had some. Did BC Housing have some? Okay, so then we learn it's a tear down. Okay, it's going to be like $3 million to tear it down. Well, they start tearing it down. So then what I've learned, and again, I haven't got any confirmation. This is information I've learned from citizens, that apparently on the roof, TELUS has a 20-year lease on the roof. Well, and that's probably a bonus for us if we can put it on another one of our buildings, because I'm sure it's a great income. But again, TELUS would have had insurance too. So if somebody got up in the roof and wrecked the roof, so maybe we can get the taxpayers off the hook for the demolition, because there's a lot of asbestos and stuff in there.
But when's it going to happen?
Well, again, I asked it in council and I have not received any. I don't know if you know, but well, you do know. You've got that report.
Which report?
You know the report. The one where I'm supposed to communicate difference with people.
The investigation report.
Yeah, the investigations.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't it terrible though that I can learn more from you than I can from
Well,
our
on
city?
that, how's the hunt for the leakers going?
It's going
I heard you're on the trail.
a little bit of a trail. Just asking questions. Just asking questions. Why, and why wouldn't you be?
Well,
Mike, if you're a
I was
corporation,
you.
if you're a corporation, if you had information that you're having meetings with your staff about, and things that are very important, okay, closed meetings,
Sure.
email. Like what started the one that I'm concerned about is when it started when I sent an email out. I got Chrissy to send an email out for proposed adjustments to standing committees, which I'm allowed to do, by the way, and I don't even get, and I sent it to council and a couple of people in administration. And I leave my office, and I don't even get across the bridge, and Michael Patessio calls me.
He's a sharp reporter,
and he's a sharp reporter. He had the information. I said, Michael, you have the whole list. He goes, yeah, I do. So to me, that's
somebody's
that
leaking something.
That could have never. That didn't have to be a big media blow up and make it to global news, and we didn't need people standing up and saying all the stuff. It's just not necessary, and it wouldn't happen in any other corporation. It just wouldn't happen, and it's not healthy for our community. It's not healthy for our city hall. It's not healthy for our council, and it's not even healthy for you guys.
Do you guys sign NDAs when you?
We sign an oath of office.
Oath of office.
Oath of office on November the 1st. Matter of fact,
a year ago
today.
We have all of our guys, their NDAs, because we work on a lot of secret things. We're inventing, we're creating, we're investing a lot. And if somebody were to blab it, and Fender, like they just released their new guitar, which is a copy of ours, but if that happens, that could take the sale out of the company. So I can understand that.
If things were all hunky-dory, then maybe there wouldn't be any leakers. If things were just everybody.
What do you mean hunky-dory? We put out standing committees, okay? Everybody selected them. At the time that I'm looking as the mayor, and I look and I find out that one guy is a huge developer. He's doing a 200 acre development, and I'm sorry, I've got him on the development and sustainability committee. You know, the company, like, I just think that could be a conflict, or you know, a counselor that, you know, I've got all these people complaining to me about crime and things like that, and I asked him to come with me to look at things. He's on the Community Protective Services committee, and we're not getting results. Well, all I was doing was proposing adjustments to it. And here we are now. Okay, we have no standing committees. We had select committees. I was on one. Well, it was a waste of time. Mm-hmm. And then we got more select committees, and now we're having more committees. Mm-hmm. So here we are a year later. A year later.
It's a boondoggle, is what you're saying. It's a big boondoggle.
That's whatever that means. I'm sure it is.
Yeah, it's just a lot of things happening, but nothing really getting done.
Yeah, like what's like, you know, it's kind of like me. It's kind of like me. One of my first motions, and again, I did a lot of work on this because I know that it was modeled off East Hastings, the First United Church in East Hastings, 48 West, and it was to review and look at relocating.
Hey,
the property.
That's one of your motions that got passed because they did review.
They didn't. They kicked it down. I didn't even watch the 30 minutes. I had to leave because they.
Yeah, but there's that
okay, but where is it at? Where?
Well, they did. That was one. Michael mentioned that to me because I said, have they defeated all of Reid's motions? He goes, no, that one they actually agreed to look into it.
No, they agreed to put it down to a committee. Okay. And then froze the committees.
Well, they agreed at the time, though.
Today is November the 1st, okay?
Yeah.
Show me the report on
the review
and the relocate.
Storage place, yeah.
Show me the review.
Well, I know that they wanted to do it. They voted to do it.
No, they voted to put it down to a committee. We're at council. They could have voted right there. They're at council. They voted, apparently.
I can look up the minutes. I'm pretty sure they
Okay, well, I didn't even read the thing because I had to leave the room because they extended it to the whole street.
Yeah. Okay.
Again, I don't know why they didn't do the whole city, but anyways, you know, but anyway, it got kicked down to a committee.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a year later, almost. Where's the report? Because I can tell you right now, it's a bad spot. There's going to be a lot better spots. It's on a main corridor. We're stigmatizing people. They're laying out there. It's just a bad spot. It's too small.
Mm-hmm. Are you willing to give us an update on the lawsuit against Katie?
No, that's not my department.
Okay. How do you want to end?
Thanks for having me, and hopefully we can get you guys fired back up.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Oh yeah, let's end on that. You got some thoughts. What do you think about our paper closing, and what are your thoughts for the future? Do you want to see another newspaper rise up? I would.
Yeah, and I'd like to see you guys, even though you guys hammer me all the
don't
time.
hammer you.
People tell me I shouldn't even come on your show.
Oh,
They say Mike's such a nice guy.
That's your echo chamber. That's the hammer
people
pocket.
calling me in the morning and yelling at us because we're too hard on the mayor.
My supporters.
But then we get ripped. You're not hard enough on.
We get people from within and without City Hall saying you're too soft on the mayor, so we can't win, or we do win because we're doing the right job.
You're a political HQ.
Anyway, even though, okay, I'm for the community.
Yeah, you want to.
And I believe that you need a paper. And that's why you and I talked last week, and you know, I don't know if I can say that.
But, yeah. You know, I encourage me to come down to the.
I encourage you to come down. I encourage you to put up a
poll.
A poll.
Yeah.
Because I really believe that there, you know, like I said, I think it's 30% of our
subscription model
citizens,
you believe in.
I believe that people will subscribe. Like I said, 30% of the population is over 60. I think that's about what it is. You had it backwards.
I had it backwards, on the news there. Yeah,
but that's okay.
Yeah. But it is.
It's a big population. A lot of people I talked to when we were down at the theater there, we were talking. I thought it was mostly older.
There's two young
people.
girls.
There's two young girls. We talked about it.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying. Getting back to the paper, I really think that you guys can do
There's
something.
a lot of hurdles, but we're trying.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything I can help with.
Yep.
And I'm allowed to help with. I don't want to get any conflicts or anything like that.
A lot of people have reached out. Yeah, Bill Sarai says anything he can do to help, and I think Kelly Hall's willing to help because he has lots of expertise in the business. So it's good. A cross section of people want to try to get it going, and we're still working on it.
And I still think that we have a community that really needs it. Mm-hmm. And like I said, there's probably some printing machines that are real cheap out there.
Yeah. Presses?
Yeah, presses, yes.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for being on the show. We
Thank
like
you.
having you on the show. I know you think we pick on you sometimes, but I think you get an audience to talk to your people, and some people don't like you. Some people do.
They were who are your readers, or were your readers?
Say hi to my brother Daryl in North Vancouver.
Daryl.
North Vancouver.
North Van. I was born in North Van, Daryl. You're a good guy, and I haven't even met you. But
Mike McCabe, Mike
hopefully I
McCabe in
will.
Turtle Valley. He's a big. He always,
Mike McCabe in Turtle Valley.
every time I
Mike-
post a clip on Instagram, he does a little hammer emoticon.
I actually thank all the supporters. You know, I'll tell you, over the last year, I got to tell you something. Over the last year, maybe they don't like me around the in the council chambers. We'll say the majority probably in that zone, but the citizens have been awesome. Like, it's just great. I can't go anywhere now, and you know, like I used to be able to go and sit down place and just be able to eat. I have people, and my wife have people coming up to our table all the time.
The King of
Huge
Bailey's.
support.
You are
You're
the
the
absolute
king
of
of
Bailey's.
Kensington. You're like the king of Kensington. You're walking down like Al
They should
Waxman,
change the
they're
name
all
to the
like,
Hammer
"Who's this?"
Pocket. That place should be called the Hammer Pocket.
No, I'm talking where
Everywhere,
I go. It
yeah, I
doesn't
know,
matter if I
I
go to
know.
I can't go
Yeah.
walk through Costco or
Yeah.
Superstore or
And are most of the serious question? Are most of the interactions good, or do you ever get any criticism from people on the street?
Well, you
I
said a
get
couple
very
times you
few.
did.
Yeah, I get very few. I'm before, you know, with this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Beyond that, though, just regular interaction. Do people?
No, it's really good. It's
really
really
good. That's
positive. Yeah, the regular
good.
people, you know, I'm just a regular guy. And
Yeah.
again, I didn't get in here. I'm not a political guy. I mean, I'm run against a lot of political people. Like, and you can tell the difference.
Yeah.
But I didn't run to hurt anybody. I ran for a safer community. I ran to help the people on the streets.
Who was the guy in the
I-
truck this morning that said hi to you?
He runs one of the oil change.
Yeah, the Great Canadian Oil Change, I think it was.
Great Canadian, yeah. Great Canadian oil change, yeah.
And we saw you pulled up and you were talking to some guy he pulls up in the truck, right? I wasn't sure if that was you in the truck, but you were talking to the guy in the
Yeah.
truck. So
No,
that was just happenstance. You just
Oh,
drove by.
it's unbelievable. It's a great support from people, and I just hope we can get this all turned around, and I believe that we can. I just need 4.
Okay. 1 year deep. Reid Hammer Jackson, Reader's Digest, brought to you by McDonald's.
And thanks everybody for the check.
Stressful.
Reese is stressed out right now.
Oh, no.
She's very stressed out. She loves beds. You do love beds, right?
Of course, I love sleeping, so I love beds. But
You don't always love talking about beds, but this bed here, I think you could talk about this one.
yes,
Stearns and Foster. Mm-hmm. They've been around since 1846. Okay? There's a reason they've been around that long. What are some of those reasons?
well, we just started carrying this brand, but they have been around for a long time. But they are a long time loved Canadian-made brand.
They're Canadian.
Yes.
Oh, amazing.
And yeah, they're just really good luxury mattresses. You can see here, it's just good moisture wicking material. They are coil mattresses. You can get them in different comfort levels, as well as this model we have on the floor is a dual comfort one, so you can try the soft side as well as the firm side, so that way you can kind of see which one you like better.
So each side is a different firmness, is that? Or
Yep. Yeah, we have it specifically for the showroom, so people can try each side, decide which one they want to order.
Oh, that's cool. And this right here is a queen.
Yeah, this one's here is a queen, and they do come in kings, doubles, twins, queens, all that.
What type of bed do you have?
Um,
Are you a big bed person? Like, you love your bed?
well, yes. Right now, I'm not loving the bed I have because I'm actually staying at home right now, and it's not my normal bed, and it's just not the same.
Well, I know a place where you could get a brand new
I've been thinking about it.
Stearns and Foster, Canadian made, fleur de lis, and I imagine the prices are fair and reasonable.
Absolutely, and they are on sale right now, as well as they will be on sales throughout Black Friday and Boxing Week, which are coming up in November.
Fraser jamming to the bass there.
Yep.
Like the bass line. Actually, he's a musician, Mike. We forgot. We should have got you to play something
Piano,
today.
right? Yes.
What?
No,
You're
we all-
a piano player, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember
I'd
that.
have to wheel one of those in here one time.
And your younger brother, he plays guitar and piano.
Yeah.
And you just dropped him off at school.
Yep.
Which school does he
He's
go to?
going to Sahali with the rest of the Blazers, the young guys this year. They got a pretty good group up there. Big
So you're
group.
just like the dad. You go
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah, the car we had between us is getting fixed right now, so got to share Emmett's car and drive around and drop them off.
Emmett Finney's car.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are sharing Emmett Finney's car.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a neat little story about you. Part of the reason why you did so well and stuck along with the Leafs was your character and your maturity. So I lost my job last week, and you're in the middle of trying to make an NHL club. You're dealing with hordes of media, but you took the time to send me a text message to say, condolences, basically. So thank you very much for doing that.
It was
I
a very
thought that was pretty
classy
cool.
thing to do.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. You were always good to the team, and so sorry to hear about that, but
Yeah.
wish you all the best.
Here we are. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
What's it like to be back in town? Is there part of you that is deflated at all? There was like 2 media members as opposed to about 50, or are you just jacked up to be back with the team?
No, that's great having 2 members versus 50. That's a lot easier. But no, honestly, happy to be here. I just want to be playing hockey. It was tough going through that stretch where kind of just watching. You want to be out there, especially a young guy like me. I still feel I have a long way to go in my career. A lot of things I can get better at. So being on the ice is where that's going to happen. So I'm excited to get to play.
And it was such a whirlwind for you. Let's just look back on what happened here. I mean, you played 4 games in the NHL. You made your NHL debut. You basically broke through all expectations and made the opening night roster. So are you able to look back on that now, and what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, able to look back for sure, and very happy with how it went overall. Obviously, exceeded my own expectations, exceeded the team's expectations of myself. So I think that gives me a good amount of confidence that I can be there one day, kind of keep that rolling into town here, and hopefully help the boys win some games this year.
Are you perfectionist, and do you have regrets? Like, oh, I wish I made this play here, and are there things that bother you about any of your games?
There were a couple times I could have scored where would have liked it to go in, but no. Other than that, game moves so fast. You're always doing the best you can, and you gotta live with that. Otherwise, if you have regrets on how you played, it's gonna eat you up, and you're gonna be screwed as a hockey player, I think. So. Did
you have an inkling of what was going to happen? Because we were all back here. I was talking to even your head coach and GM, saying, kind of, we're just speculating like you as to whether or not the Leafs are going to send him back or keep him. Did you have an inkling? Did you feel like you were going to be sent back eventually, or did you feel like you could really stay with the club and play the full season?
Yeah, you go to that rookie tournament off the start, and first couple games, I remember last year in those games I felt pretty overwhelmed, honestly, and I was playing like second line or first line center, and felt like I could not keep up with the other team's top guys. But this year I felt like I was better than the other team's top guys at that tournament. So that at that point I kind of realized, like, let's just keep this momentum rolling and see where it goes. I know some of the guys on those other teams were touted to get NHL opportunity and stuff like that, and I felt like I was outplaying them at that rookie tournament there in Traverse City. And then at camp it just kind of kept snowballing in the right direction, and had good preseason. And then from there there was obviously some salary cap stuff that they had it. They're very tight against the cap with those big contracts they have on their superstars there. But I was just doing what I could do every day and try to earn another day. That was honestly the mindset there, and ended up working well enough to get me on the opening night roster.
You went from, so this weekend you're playing Red Deer, and then you're going to bus down to Vancouver, and then you're going to bus everywhere. What was it like when you went to Toronto and you guys are flying everywhere? Are you staying in the finest hotels? You got the finest food? How was the difference culture-wise, just that standard of living?
Yeah, the travel is obviously, it's extremely efficient. You go right.
Charter flights, right?
Yeah, charter flight to step onto the bus. There's no security, nothing. You're just traveling through the world. Yeah. Just like that. But yeah, culture-wise too, like, it's obviously they make a ton of money. They can afford to put you in the Four Seasons and all these big cities in Florida, right on the beach, and like in Nashville, you're right beside Broadway and a hotel, like stuff like that is really cool. But yeah, obviously you see they put 20,000 people in the stands every night.
But you got to keep your focus. You can't get too much. Was there any time on the ice? Because you're a young guy, when you were playing against a team and you maybe someone that you looked up to and you were a fan of, were you ever in awe on the ice saying, oh my God, there's so-and-so across the way from me?
Yeah, in warm-ups that's kind of when you see them for the first time, and some guys are like this big, and you're like, oh my God, he's right there. I think it was more so last year when I first played my first preseason game, and that I was kind of in my head about it. This year is more like I know that once I'm out there, I can skate with this guy, whatever. Compete with them, so it wasn't as much awe, but it was still cool. I see guys like Claude Giroux played against in a preseason game. Montreal, even like some of the younger guys like Suzuki, guys like that, captain of the Canadians, like it's pretty cool to.
I got him in my pool. Suzuki out there, 8 points already.
What about your debut? What was that like? You know, stepping on the ice for that. And I also wanted to ask you about the different buildings you got to play in. I mean, which were kind of the coolest buildings you thought that you got to play in?
Yeah, debut was obviously amazing. Kind of not blacked out, but like it went pretty fast. It was kind of a blur. You try to stop and take it in, but there's a lot of emotions going on, a lot going on there.
It was in Toronto, right?
Yeah, it was a really fun game. The coach probably didn't love the game, but we were down. Matthews had a hat trick, came back shootout winner, so I'll remember it for sure. And then coolest rinks, Dallas is really cool. I thought Dallas was a really cool rink.
Are you just sucking up to Tom right now?
Good atmosphere too. Like the crowd was good in Dallas.
Really, eh? They got a good vibe in that building.
Yeah, Tampa Bay too was electric. Obviously, they've had a lot of success, so that's probably part of it. And then Bell Center was by far the best.
That would have been
we just played there in preseason, but it was the loudest out of the buildings, even regular season by far. Like they cross center ice and everyone's going, oh, you can hear it build, and it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Did your parents come out, and how many games did they get to?
My mom was there for 3, my dad for 2. Those first 2 games, and then my mom stayed for the one against Chicago.
They were getting some TV time too. I mean, what was their reaction like after the game when you saw them, and what do you think it was like for them to experience that moment? Because they raised you, all those times in the 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. practices, and to see it all kind of culminate. I mean, how cool is it to have them there, and what were their thoughts on it?
Yeah, super cool. I think it means as much, if not more, to them, almost like seeing me achieve what I want to achieve. Lots of pride for them in that, and a few tears from my mom for sure, a few times, which was pretty cool. And saw them after the games. They were a little overwhelmed. Like, I can't believe this is happening. This is real.
Yeah.
But really awesome to have them there and able to share. Like you said, they're a huge part of why I'm here, and so they deserve it.
I think you had some fun too, Bill. I think we have a little photo here. There we go. Who is in that photo, and what's going on here?
Yeah, this was we had like our rookie dinner in Nashville there. So the young guys had to dress up as we had to come up with some costume to wear to the dinner. They just want us to be embarrassed when we walk in. So we went with like the Nashville tourists, got them some cowboy stuff, and that photo was taken because that's Matthew Nyes on the far left, also dressed like an idiot cowboy there. And Tavares in the middle, he took us in and had us living at his house. So got that photo. And
what was it like living with John Tavares? Did you guys play video games together? What did you guys do and when you had downtime together?
We didn't have that much downtime really. Like, it was pretty busy when I was there, but the downtime you're kind of trying to just chill, rest, maybe watch an NHL game on TV. We played some mini sticks with his kids. Kept them entertained. They're a bunch of energy balls still at their age, so that was fun for sure. And just hang out. He's just like another guy, obviously a little more mature than us, but super nice, fun guy to hang out with.
I think those rookie dinners, a lot of the times the rookies get their visas out and have to pay for these things, but I don't think you guys had to.
Yeah, that's the way it works. The rookies pay for it all, but the rookies did have to pay for it. But
I
got exempt because I got sent down like a couple days before.
Okay.
I saved a lot of money there.
Yeah, absolutely.
How much is that? Like, how much does a dinner like that cost?
Thousands.
Yeah, it gets up there somewhere.
I've seen some, online. You'll see some bills from in Vancouver where rookies have to buy. This could be a lot.
It gets up there. Those dinners, 20 people. They're all ordering,
steaks,
a couple $100 worth of stuff.
Yeah.
It gets up
what was the culture like? How were you welcomed in by the team there?
The culture was great. As far as that, like, guys were super welcoming. I was honestly surprised with how welcoming they were. They didn't have to be as good to me as they were, but everyone was super talkative, super inclusive, and I loved it. Very, very thankful for how nice they all were to me, and it made me feel very comfortable right away.
Cool. Well, you come back now. Let's talk about the Blazers before we let you go. Tougher start. They missed you a lot. You're watching from afar. What's your assessment of how the season's gone so far, and how do you hope to help change the fortunes as they go forward?
Yeah, obviously not the start we wanted. There's lots of belief in the dressing room that we'd be one of the top teams in the division again, like through training camp and stuff, and I think guys genuinely believed that. I think now if you ask guys, I'm not sure they'd answer the same way, based on how it went there with that stretch of 9 games especially. Really hurt the confidence, I think, of the group, but the last weekend was a good sign. That they played a couple of really good games against Tri-City at home, which is big for them, I think. I think that everyone seems to be working really hard. We got really hard-working kids. It takes time in this league. It's really hard league to come in at 16, 17 to make an impact. We've been really lucky the past 3-4 years where we've got guys that can score at 16, 17, like 20 goal scorers, but that's really rare. Like, you see those guys are getting drafted in the top 5 rounds of the NHL draft and stuff. So we got spoiled almost with talent the last few years, and this is more what a realistic WHL cycle kind of seems like. But I think there's still lots of potential. Like, our coaching staff is unbelievable. I really believe in Murr and Cluey and Hazer to keep us rolling, and hopefully turn this around and start winning a few more games here.
For you, World Juniors on the horizon. Also, I mean, obviously that's a team you wanna represent your country, wear the maple leaf, and also you've never really been the guy. You know, you talked to me about that before you left, where you're getting the first line minutes, you're getting the first line power play, and I would suggest you're probably going to be the captain of the team. I mean, how much are you looking forward to all of that responsibility and potentially making the World Juniors?
I love it. Like, it's exactly where I want to be at this point in my career. You told me I had this opportunity. Even a year ago, I would have taken it in an instant. So just go after it here for the next month before they make those invites to that camp. It's December 1st, I think they come out with that. So I think we've got 8 or 9 games or something before then.
Yeah,
maybe not quite, but just make those games count, and then go there and show what I can do at the camp if I get invited there. And then obviously, it would be a dream come true, and I'm very excited about where I am right now with the opportunities coming ahead.
All right. Mike, anything for Fraser before we let him go?
All I've been thinking about is piano, you, and do you play melodica ever?
No.
Do you know what a melodica is?
I do not know what that is.
Melodica is an air instrument that you blow, but it's a keyboard on the side. Okay. And you get a hose and play it like this. And I think that would be amazing if you play piano, because you can play melodica anywhere. And just on the tour bus, I can imagine you play My Sharona or something as you guys are driving along. And
that would be hilarious.
I play violin for that reason, so maybe
it's portable and you can pull it out.
Yeah, it could be good. So, anyways,
I'm still thinking some kind of a duet. Bryce and Fraser, guitar and piano on the show at some point.
Maybe doing the Stop and Tom Connors, the hockey song.
The good old hockey game?
Oh,
I got one question.
Or My Sharona.
Right,
I got a question. Did you grow a stash when you were in Toronto for the when you were there with the Leafs?
No. I might have forgot to shave a couple times, but
because my son Atticus, he's a couple years older than you, and he's a big Leaf fan. And I asked him many questions for him, and he goes, "Maybe ask him if Matthews inspired him to grow a stash."
No, I couldn't if I tried. I don't think, but he's got a good one going for sure.
Yeah, he does for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Yeah. Thanks a lot for coming in.
Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah.
Right on.
Volkswagen, das Auto.
You ready?
Yep.
What's going on?
Nothing.
Who's texting you?
Nobody. We're good.
Thoughts on the show?
Good show. A good show. First show, post newspaper.
Your son is a big Leafs fan, so he'll be interested.
Yes, he'll watch the show. He's when he was 7 years old, he was like, one of those kids that had like any team that was winning, he would like all the teams, and I'd say you can't do that anymore. So when he started grade 1, I gave him 30 days to pick a team and stick with that team. You can't just be a bandwagon. So he was down to Edmonton and Toronto for some reason, and he took Toronto, and good for him, because when I was really young, I liked the Leafs too in the 70s.
Mike, any thoughts on the show?
I really like the show. I think after a year of being in office, Reid, he's got some business sense that he's bringing, and I like some of that. Some of the other drama stuff is kind of interesting. But I think it was a really good show, and it's inspiring with Fraser. A young guy that's really going after it and actually making it too.
Yeah, it's incredible.
A lot of people are going to be yelling at their screens during the Reid segment, and a lot of people are going to be... For Christopher Foltz, for Magic Mike, For Bill and for Tukey, I'm Marty. We'll see you last week.